You can come up. You have a mask with you? Yeah, just keep it with you if you can, yeah. Yeah. That's fine. You'll just again, you'll slide it across, so it's fine. We'll check. Right, you're using that one. This is on. Now it's on. See, look in the up position. It's on. Off.
How
On.
loud is it if I were to talk? Do you think people can hear me?
Just use your normal voice.
But like, do you think people like right now could like hear me?
Whispering?
I'm talking right now.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but project a little bit louder too.
Well,
okay?
yeah, I'm not gonna talk like this.
I know, yes, but yes, people like the way I'm talking right now. People can hear me if they're watching. If they're watching on the stream.
You also have one right here.
That's true.
Oh, we have fancy cups.
This is your speech here?
Okay.
Okay. Yes, you have page numbers and you're good. You're fine here. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom to those of you who are joining us from home via YouTube. We are here celebrating as Jillian Perschetz becomes Bat Mitzvah this morning at our bima. First time we've done this during our situation, so it's it'll be fun, it'll be interesting, it'll be wonderful, it'll be memorable, certainly. And we'll get started in just a moment. For those of you at home who'd like to follow along, we will be putting up a link to our Shabbat morning service in the chat box. You can click that link and follow along virtually. We have a PDF of our Siddur, and you may follow along as I announce pages, and please feel free to join from home. We begin on page 140. As we sing a song of welcome that we have come together for a new day in prayer. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Please rise as we turn to page 146. We chant the blessings for our everyday miracles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lasech v'bina behavhin ein yom uvein laila.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzalmo.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani bat chorim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokah haaretz al chamayim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasa li kol tzorki.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher chaychan mitzadei gaver.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam azer Yisrael b'gvura.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifara.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten la'ya'ef koach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hama'avir shema me'atam u'ma me'afa pai.
You may be seated. We continue silently. Utenenu hayom uv'chol yom lechenu chesed rachamim b'nei kol roheinu v'tigmalenu chasadim tovim. Baruch atah Adonai gomel chasadim tovim la'amo Yisrael. לפיכך אנחנו חייבים להודות לך, לשבחך ולפארך ולברך ולקדש ולתת שבח ולשמך. Middle of page 150. אשרינו מה תאכל, קיינו מנים גרלנו מה יפה ירושתנו, אשרינו שאנחנו משכימים ומעריבים ערב ובוקר ואומרים פעמיים בכל יום. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. קדש את שמך מקדש את שמך וקדש את שמך עולמך וישועתך תרים בתגביע קרנינו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש את שמך ברבים. We continue on page 169, the psalm for Shabbat. We read it responsively.
It is good to thank you, O Lord, to sing praises to your exalted name.
To proclaim your love every morning, your faithfulness every night.
To the sound of the 10-string lyre with your voice and the music of the harp.
Your works, O Lord, bring me gladness. Of your deeds I sing with joy.
How great are your deeds, O Lord, how profound are your designs.
The simple cannot comprehend, the foolish cannot grasp this.
Though the wicked may thrive like grass, and doers of evil seem to flourish.
Their doom is sure to come, for yours is the ultimate triumph.
Those who oppose you will perish, your workers of iniquity will be routed.
You have given me extraordinary power, I am like one who has been anointed.
I see the defeat of my foes, I hear the doom of my enemies.
The righteous will flourish like the palm tree, they will thrive like the cedar of Lebanon.
Planted in the house of the Lord, they will flourish in the courts of our God.
Even in old age they will bear fruit, retaining their vigor and their strength.
Proclaiming that the Lord is just, my rock in whom there is no unrighteousness.
We continue at the bottom of page 168. Tzadik hatamar yifrach ke'erez babanon iskashetudim bebeit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yanuvun beseva tishenim verananim yiyu lehagin yashar Adonai tzuri velo havatabo. We continue on page 180. Please rise. We chant responsively.
Baruch she'emar v'chai ha'olam.
Baruch Hu.
Baruch oser v'reishit.
Baruch Omer ve'oser.
Baruch gozer kayem.
Baruch mirachem al haaretz.
Baruch mirachem al habriyo.
Baruch mishalem sachar tov lireyav.
Baruch haylachad vayikam lanetzach.
Baruch bodeh umatzil.
Baruch shemo.
Baruch atah Adonai.
Yachid Hei Ha'olamim Melech Meshubah Umfarar Adei Ad Sukkah HaKadol Baruch Atah Adonai Melech Mechulal B'Tishbach.
Amen. Please be seated. We continue on page 190. We chant Ashrei responsively.
Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Odi Halucha Selah.
Ashrei Am Shekacha Lo, Ashrei Am Shadonai Elohav.
Tehillah LeDavid Aromim HaElohai HaMelech Avrahashim HaLeolam Va'ed.
B'chol Yom Avarcheka V'Yadol Shimcha Leolam Va'ed.
Gadol Adonai U'Molam Me'od V'Lig Dulato Ein Heker.
Dor L'dor Yishabach Ma'asecha Gvuratecha Yagidu.
Hadar Kavod Hodecha V'Divrei Niflotecha Asicha.
Ve'zuz Nortecha Yomeru Ugdatecha Saprena.
V'herav Divahaya Biu V'Titz Kedar Hara Yoranenu.
Chanun V'rachum Adonai Erech Apayim Gudol Chased.
Tov Adonai Lekol V'Rahamav Ol Kama Asav.
Yotuch Adonai Kol Ma'asecha V'chasidecha Yivarchucha.
Kavod Mehul Tahayomeru Ukber Tahayada Beru.
L'hodil Livnei Hadam Kurotav U'chvod Adar Malchuto.
Malchut Malchuto Kol Amim Shal Tahayada B'Chol Dor Vador.
Somech Adonai L'chol Hanoflim V'zokef L'chol HaKefufim.
Einei Chol Elochai Yasa Beru V'Atano Ten Le Et Lo Lam Bibto.
Poteach et Yadecha Masbir L'chol Charatzon.
Tzadik Adonai B'Chol Deracha V'Chasidit B'Chol Ma'asav.
Karov Adonai L'chol Korav L'chol Asher Yikra'u V'emet.
Ratzon V'Yarhav Ya'asecha V'Yet Shavtecham Yashmicha V'Yoshim.
Shomer Adonai Koavav et Karshaim Yashmid.
Tehillat Adonai Yadaber Pi V'Yivrech Chol Basar Shem Kocho Le'Lam Va'ed.
V'anachnu nevarech Yamei Ata V'yad Olam. Hallelujah. Page 194, we chant the words of Psalm 150. You have a favorite tune?
Hallelujah.
You want to do that one?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's go. Ready? Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, El Bekocho. Hallelujah, Birkiyaozo. Hallelujah, Vigvoroto. Hallelujah, Kivrov Gudlo. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, B'teka shofar. Hallelujah, B'neva b'chinor. Hallelujah, B'tofu machor. Hallelujah, B'mini v'ugav. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, B'tzitz le'shama. Hallelujah, B'tzitz le'truah. Kol anshama ta'aleya. Kol anshama ta'aleya. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Baruch Adonai, Baruch Adonai, Baruch Adonai, Elohim Elohei Israel, Baruch Hashem. Amen, amen. We continue on page 214.
Nishmat Kol Hai
Tibarech
Tibarech Et Shimcha
Adonai
Adonai.
Eloheinu, ve'ruach kol basar tibarech We conclude the preliminary service at the bottom of page 216.
האל בתצומו תוזך, הגדול בכבוד שמך, הגבוה לענו רב, והנורא בתורותיך, המלך היושב על כיסא רם וניסח.
שוכן עד מרום וקדוש שמו.
בפי ישרים תתהלל, ובדברי צדקים תתברך, ובלשון חסידים תתרומם, ובקרב קדושים תתקדש.
ובמקלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל.
שוכן העובד כל היצר מלחנך, אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, לחודות, לחלל, לשבח, לפאר, לרמם, להדר, לברך, להלל, ולכל רס על כל דברי שירות ותשבחות. דוד בן ישי, עבדך משיחך.
Please rise. ישתבח שמך ביד מלכנו, אל המלך הקדוש. כי לך נתן
ברכות והודאות מיטב ויד עולם, ברוך אתה אדוני אל מלך גדול ותשבחות, אל העודות אדון הנפלאות, הבהר בשירי זמר מלך אלוהי העולמים.
Amen. Page 220.
יקרא ויקדש שמי רבה,
Amen.
ומדרה ירתה וימליך מלכותי,
בחייכנו ויומנו בחייך בית ישראל, בגרדה ובזמן קריב.
וימרו
אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם עולם מעמיה יתברך.
יתברא וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשו
ברכו
לילה מן כל בירתה ושירתה
תושבחתה בנחמתה תמירן מימה. Amen. Page 224.
ברוך הוא אדוני המבורך,
Baruch Adonai Vorach Le'olam Va'ed.
אדוני מבורך לעולם ועד.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Yotzer Or V'Orei Choshech Oseh Shalom V'Orei Et HaKol. You may be seated. We continue silently on 226. Hakol Yodu V'Chashu Motzi Chamam Necham V'Nam Kol Jesus. We continue on page 228 with El Adon. El Adon al kol hama'asim baruch u'mevorach befi kol neshama gadlu v'tzuva b'alei olam da'at u'tvuna sovevimoto Amin ka'eh al chayot ha'kodesh nedar v'chavod al merkava zechut u'mishur lifnei chiso chesed v'rachamim lifnei chevodo Tovim mehorot shebara Eloheinu yitzaram b'da'at b'vina u'baskel koach u'gvura natan bahem liyot mosheli mekerev tevel Meleim ziv u'mefikim noga Na'eziv ha'mechol ha'olam Zamechi v'tzeta v'sasi bevoam Osim be'em ha'retzon konam Pe'er v'chavod notnim lishmot Zohola v'rina lezecher malchuto Kara l'shemesh v'yisarach ora'a V'hizkin sorat halvana Shavach notnim lo Kol tzivam aram tiferet u'gedudras Rafim v'yovanim b'chayot ha'kodesh 230. We continue on page 234. Titbarak Tzorenu Malkeinu V'Gorleinu B'Rei Kedoshim Yishuv Hashem Kal Malkeinu Kulam Ahuvim, Kulam Berurim, Kulam Kiburim, Kulam Osim, Be'ema Ubira Retzon, Konam, V'Kulam Pochim, Bepihem B'Ktusha, V'Torah B'Shiram Zimra, U'Mevachim V'Shamchim, V'Fa'arim, V'Maritzim, V'Vakshishim, V'Mamlichim, Et Shem Ha'el, HaMelech HaGadol, HaGibor V'Hanara Kadoshu, V'chulam mekablim alehem ol mechut shemayim zeh mizeh v'nonim reshut zeh lazeh l'hakdish rotzam b'nachat ruach v'safa b'rura b'nima kedosha kulam kechad nevramim b'yirah Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Tzivot Melech kol haaretz kevodo Va'ofani v'chayot HaKadosh bera'ash gadol min atzim l'ramat tzarafim l'matam b'shabachim v'yomrim Baruch Yevod Adonai Mimkomo. Page 236. Le'el Baruch Nihimoti Tehenu Le'melech El Chai V'Kayam Zmirot Yomeru V'Tishbechot Yashmiu Ki Hu Levado Poel Kevurot Oseh Chadash Od Ba'al Milchamot Zorei Atzedagot Matzmiach Yeshuot Bore Refuot Norati Lot Adon Haniflaot Amachadesh Betuvel Bechol Yom Tamid Mahase Bereshit Kamor Leose Orim Orim Gedolim Ki Leolam Chasdo Or Chadash Al Tzion Tahir Beniz Kechulanu Me'era Leoro Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMeorot. Page 238. Ahava Rabba Ahavtanu Adonai Eloheinu Chemla Gedola Gedola V'Tera Chamalta Aleinu Ahavinu Malkeinu Ba'avor Avotenu Shebantachu Becha Avinu Malkeinu V'tenamtem Chukei Chaim Ken Techonenu Utlamdenu Avinu Ha'ava Rachaman Amrachem Rachem Aleinu V'ten V'libenu Lehavin U'lehaski Lishmoa Lilmod u'lelamed lishmor ve'lasot U'kayem et kol divrei Talmud Toratecha b'ahava Ve'aher eleinu b'toratecha V'dahabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha Ve'yachel levaveinu Ve'yahava u'yira et shemecha Ve'lo nevosh le'olam va'ed Ve'lo nevosh le'olam va'ed Ki b'shem kodshecha gadol anu rabataknu Nagila v'nismecha b'shuvatecha Ve'avienu l'shalom me'arba kanvot haaretz Tolichenu komemiut le'artzeinu Ki apo Yeshuot ata Vanu bacharta mikolam v'lashon Keravtanu l'shimcha hagadol Sela be'emet lehodo lecha Uyachecha v'yahava
Baruch atah Adonai Habaher ba'amo Yisrael be'achava.
Page 242 for the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai
Eloheinu Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, שבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, שרתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. We continue silently on 244. We continue together on 246. Vayomer Adonai al Moshe lemor daber el bnei Yisrael ve'amarta alehem ve'asu lahem tzitzit al kanfei bigdeihem ledorotam v'natanu al tzitzit hakanaf v'tiltechelet haya lechem letzitzit uritem oto ושחררתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
ויציא בנחל בקריה וישב. לדור ותר קיים משמו קיים, וחיסון נכון ומלכותו באמונות על יד קיימת. את שתחו אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו מלכנו מלך אבותינו גואלנו גואל אבותינו יוצרנו צור ישועתנו פודנו מצילנו מעולם שמך אין אלוהים זולתך. Page 250. עזרת אבותינו אתה הוא מעולם מגן מושיע אשר יש ישמע We continue on 252.
Tehillah le'el elyon baruch hu u'mavorach Moshe u'vnei Yisrael ha'anu shir babasim haraba v'amruchu lam.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh, norati lodo sefer.
Shira chadasha shibu ge'ulim lishmaro al tzavat hayam yachad hulam hodu v'hu ve'amru
Adonai imloch le'olam va'ad tzor Yisrael u'ma'bezrat Yisrael u'v'techinu mecha Yehuda ve'Yisrael Kol aleinu Adonai tzavot shemo Kedosh Yisrael.
Baruch atah Adonai Ge'al Yisrael.
We continue with the Shabbat morning Amidah, page 255.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanarayim, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei HaKol v'Zocher Chasdei Avot, U'mevi Goel Livnei B'neihem Leman Shemo v'Yahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen.
Adonai Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah Hagibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayim Eitim Atarav Lehoshia Mashiach HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechayim Eitim Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofech Odim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamo Chabal Kivurot Umito Melach Melech Memit Umechayem Umatzmiach Yeshua
V'ne'eman atah l'chachayot metim Baruch atah Adonai mechayei ha-metim
256.
Nikadesh et shimcha ba'olam kashem shema kadishim Moshe mishmei maram kakatu bal yad neviecha v'karaz el zevi amar
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzibahot, Melech kol haaretz kevodo.
Az bikol rash gadol adir v'hazak mishmiim kol minasim lumatam zerafim lumatam barich yameru
Baruch kevod Adonai mimkomho. Mimkomcha malkeinu, malkeinu tofia. Betim loch aleinu, ki mechakim anachnu lach. Matai, matai timloch betzion. Matai, matai timloch betzion. Bekarov yameinu, leolam va'ed tishkon. Bekarov yameinu, leolam va'ed tishkon. Titkada v'titkadash, titkada v'titkadash, betoch Yerushalayim, Yerushalayim ircha, ledor vador, u'netzach netzachim, ledor vador, u'netzach netzachim. V'einenu tirena malchutecha, kadabara Reuzecha. Oy David Mashiach, Oy David Mashiach Tzidkecha. Adonai leolam Elohai Etzion, ledor vador, hallelujah.
Ledor vador
nagid God lecha.
Ledor vador
nagid God lecha. U'netzach netzachim, kedushatecha nagish, kedushatecha ish, v'shivchacha Eloheinu, mibinu yamush le'olam va'ed.
Ledor vador
nagid God lecha.
Ledor vador
nagid God lecha. Ki hamelech gadol, v'kadosh atzah. Ki hamelech gadol v'kadosh atzah.
Baruch atah Adonai el hakadosh.
We continue with the remainder of the Amidah silently, pages 258 through 266.
May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer.
Oseh shalom bimrama, Yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Page 268, you may be seated.
Yikadal vikad Hashem Rabba.
Amen.
Be'amal divar here tevim michahu tebachai hon uf hayidahol bet Yisrael ba'galav man karivimru.
Amen. Yesh me Rabba mevorach. Yalam me'amaya yitbarach.
Yibravish debavi parvi nam vida sevi to darvi to levi to shmei kudishab.
Brechu.
Lei limin kobri tavashir tatush ba'atavan enata dami ram bimavimru.
Amen.
Tigabal sotonu to hon to hol Yisrael kodam avon vishmaya vimru.
Amen.
Yesh shalom Rabba min shemaya chave hayim alena v'kol Yisravimru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom alena v'kol Yisrael v'yimaru.
Amen. Shekoach. Shekoach. Feels good, right? That whole part's done. Cool. Say hi to everybody up there. There you go. Hey, Josh, do we have any comments? Good. He'll save all the comments in the chat for you later. Okay. So Josh just said that there are 53 screens watching, which apparently is more than the second day of Rosh Hashanah. So there you go. Good. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we continue with our Torah service, page 312. And Josh, that's a second. Got it. Okay. So the Torah service, for those of you watching at home, the Torah service is a new link that'll be put in the chat box for you to follow along. That is page 312.
Do I need to turn any pages? Wait, what page is it?
312. Feels weird because I haven't done a Torah service in a year. In kamocha v'Elohim. What? Oh, thank you. In kamocha v'Elohim Adonai v'in kamasecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imlach le'olam v'ed. Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Abharachamim hetiva b'tzoncha etzion tivne chomot Yerushalayim ki v'cha levad batachnu melech elam v'nisadon olamim. Please rise as the ark doors are open. They'll be opened this morning by Haley Scheibel and Danielle and Jordan Perschetz, Jillian's cousin and sisters. Come on up.
Wait, do you want me to turn?
Vayhi bin Aaron vayomer Moshe Kuma Adonai v'yafutzu oivecha v'yanusu misanecha mipanecha ki mitzion tetzeh Torah ki mitzion tetzeh Torah u'devar Adonai mirushalayim Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael, b'kedushato. Page 316. Rich Midbar. Be'ana rachetz velishme kadisha kadisha yakira ana emar tushbechan be'ana rachetz velishme kadisha kadisha yakira ana emar tushbechan Yehera v'kodamach v'tiftach li b'horaita v'tashli mishalim delibi v'liba dechol amach Yisrael l'tav chayin v'lishlam. Amen. We'll have a bit of an abbreviated Torah procession here. We do not, we won't process with the Torah, but we will still sing these introductory verses. Page 320.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonai Kadosh Shema.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonai Kadosh Shema. Gadlu l'Adonai yiti u'neromima shemo yachtav. Lecha Adonai hagedu ula v'hagevura v'tiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod. Ki kol b'shamayim uva'aretz, ki kol b'shamayim uva'aretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha v'hamina selecho l'rosh. Romimu, Romimu, Adonai Eloheinu, v'hishtachabu, v'hishtachabu, le'adam raglav kadoshu. Romimu, Romimu, Adonai Eloheinu, v'hishtachabu, v'hishtachabu, le'har kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Two copies. Please be seated. You got a seat. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We'll proceed directly to our Torah reading. Torah reading can be found on what page?
Page 592, chapter 3, verse 1.
So page 592 in our Red Torah commentary. And for those of you at home, we are posting a link in the chat box, which you can click on to follow the Torah reading at home.
It's in the big red book, the Eitz Chaim Chumash, if you want to follow along.
Okay. So for those of you coming up for Aliyot, please go to that podium there. The blessing is there for you, and speak into the microphone. The yad that I will be using this morning, and the yad that Jillian will be using, and this was also the yad that Danielle and Jordan used at their Bat Mitzvah, belonged to Daniel Broder, Jillian's great-grandfather. And Diane, you mentioned that this week is also his yahrzeit. So we honor him by using his yad and the yad that has been used for several generations in your family. We call it the first Aliyah. Remember how to do this? It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah. Via azor via gain vioshula kol hasimbo vinumar amen hakol havu godel Eloheinu nu kavod la Torah Yamod Yarden Miriam bat Shlomo Feivel V'chaya Rachel Rishon Baruch Shenotam Torah Li'amo Yisrael Kifushato V'hatem Hadvikim Baronoi Elohechem Chayim Kulchem Chayom.
The first Aliyah, we welcome up Jordan Perschetz, Jillian's sister.
Baruch et Adonai Hamavora.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Ata Adonai. Wait, Baruch. Wait. Wait, what?
Baruch Adonai
Baruch Adonai Hamavora Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'hatan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. A little too far. There it is. V'im zevach shlamim korbano im min habakar hu makri v'im zachar im nekeva tamim im zachar im nekeva tamim yakrivenu lifnei Adonai v'samach yado al rosh korbano v'ushchato petach ohel moed v'zarku B'nei Aharon HaKohanim et hadam al mizbeach saviv v'hi kariv mizevach hashlamim isheh l'Adonai et hachelev hamechaseh et hakerev ve'et kol hachelev asher al hakerev ve'et shtei haklayot Ve'et hachelev asher lehen asher al haksarim ve'et hayoteret al hakaved al haklayot yasirena v'hi ketiru oto b'nei Aharon hamizbecha al ha'olah asher ha'etzim asher al ha'esh isher reach nichoach l'Adonai.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'haye olam nata betochenu baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Great, thank you. For the second Aliyah, we welcome up Danielle Perschetz. Jillian Tetherson.
Yamod, Danielle, Rachel, Bat Shlomo, Feivel, Vachaya, Rachel, Shani.
We are on page 594, top of the page, verse 6.
Baruch hu Adonai hamora.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai mehara. Wait, I'm sorry. Baruch Adonai hamvara le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amin v'natan lanu Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. V'iminatzon korbano lezevach shlamim l'Adonai zachar o nekeva tamim yakrivenu im kesev hu makriv et korbano v'hikrivoto livnei Adonai v'samach et yado al rosh korbano v'shachat oto livnei ohel moed v'zarku B'nei Aharon et damo al hamizbeach saviv v'hikriv mizevach hashlamim ishel Adonai chel bo ha'aliyah temima leumat he'atzeh yasirena v'et ha'chelev ha'mechaseh et ha'kerev v'et ha'klat V'et ha'klayot v'et kol chelev asher al ha'kerev v'et shtei ha'klayot v'et ha'chelev asher alehen asher al ha'ksalim v'et ha'yoteret al ha'kaved al ha'klayot yasirena V'ktira kohen hamizabecha lechem yisheh l'Adonai.
Baruch hu Adonai.
Baruch
Oh my God, sorry. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chaye olam nata b'tohenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And for the third Aliyah, we welcome up Julie Scheibel, Jillian Zod.
Yamod, Penina, Sarah, Bat Ruvain, Munos, Bedina, Miriam, Shlishi.
We are on page 594, verse 12.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvara.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. V'imez korbano v'grivo livnei Adonai v'samach et yado al rosho v'shachat oto livnei ohel moed v'zarku b'nei Aaron et damo al hamizabeach saviv v'ikriv mimenu korbano yishel Adonai et ha'chelev ha'mechaseh et ha'kerev ואת כל החלב אשר על הקרב ואת שתי הכליות ואת החלב אשר עליהן אשר על הכסלים ואת היותרת על הכבד על הכליות יסירנה וכתירם הכהן המזבחה לחם משל ריח ניחוח כל חלב לאדוני, חוקת עולם לדורותיכם, בכל מושבותיכם, כל חלב וכל דם לא תאכלו.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam notav v'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen. Great, thank you. And for the fifth Aliyah, we welcome up Diane and Bob Salvin, Jillian's grandparents. Four? Oh, sorry, fourth Aliyah. Yes, I skipped. For the fourth Aliyah, we welcome up grandparents, but this time it's Chuck and Sam Perschetz. We'll get you.
Yeah.
The fourth Aliyah.
And this one will start on page 595, chapter 4, verse 1.
Chapter 4, verse 1, for those following at home.
Yamdu Chaim Shimon ben Shlomo Feivel v'Rachel v'Sarah bat Avraham Revi'i.
Baruch Adonai Baruch.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam
Baruch
Va'ed.
Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'char banu mikol ha'amim v'nosan lanu es Torah. Baruch atah Adonai nosein haTorah.
Amen. Where am I stopping? Verse 7?
Verse 7.
Okay. Got it. Moed, right? Moed. Yeah, okay. Okay, great. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael lemor, nefesh ki techeta bishkaga mikol mitzvot Adonai asher lo te'asena v'yasa ve'achad mehena im kohen hamashiach yecheta le'ashmat ha'am ve'hikriv al chatato asher chata par ben bakar tamim ladonai lechatat ve'hevi et hapar el petach ol moed lifnei Adonai v'samach et yado al rosh hapar v'shachat et hapar lifnei Adonai v'lakach hakohen hamashiach mitaham hapar v'hevi oto el ohel moed v'taval hakohen et etzba'o badam v'hiza min hadam sheva pe'amim lifnei Adonai et pnei parochet hakodesh v'natan hakohen min hadam al karnot mizbach ketoret hasamim lifnei Adonai asher be'ohel moed v'yed kol dam apar yishpoch el yesod mizbach ha'olah el petach ohel moed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nosan lanu Torah mes v'chayei olam notav v'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai nosein haTorah.
Amen. For the fifth Aliyah, we welcome up Diane and Bob Salvin.
Yamdu Dina Miriam bat Daniel v'Penina v'et Ruvain Munos ben Yaakov v'Sheni Chamishi.
And now reading continues on page 597 in the Red Book, verse 8.
We continue in verse 8. The last one was in the middle of the paragraph, so it was like hard to figure out where I ended. The rest of them are at the yeah, and the rest of them are paragraph breaks. So.
Baruch Adonai HaBaruch.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hayamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen. V'et kol chelev parachata diyarim mimenu את החלב המכסה את הקרב, ואת כל החרב אשר על הקרב, ואת שתי הכליות, ואת החלב אשר עליהן אשר על הכסלים, ואת היותר דל הכבד על הכליות יסירנה. כאשר יורם מישור זבח השלמים, ויקטירם הכהן על מזבח העולה, ויתור הפר ואת כל בשרו על ראשו ועל קרעיו, והכיר בו ופרשו, והוציא את כל הפר אל מחוץ למחנה, אל מקום טהור, אל שפך הדשן, ושרף אותו על עצים באש, על שפך הדשן יישרף.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Thank you. For the sixth Aliyah, we welcome up Jillian's father, Philip Perschetz.
Yamod Shlomo Feivel Ben Chaim Shimon Visara Shishi.
Our reading continues on page 597, verse 13.
Verse 13 for those of you following at home.
Baruch hu et Adonai hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hambarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu michol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. V'im kol adat Yisrael yisagu ne'lam davar me'enei hakahal v'yasu achad mikol mitzvot Adonai asher lo te'asena ve'ashemo v'noda hachatat asher chata'u aleha v'hikrivu hakahal par ben bakar lechatat v'hevi'u oto lifnei ohel moed v'samchu ziknei ha'eta et yedehem al rosh hapar lifnei Adonai v'shachat et hapar lifnei Adonai v'hevi'i hakohen HaMashiach midam hapar Elohel moed v'taval hakohen etzba'o min adam v'hizah sheva pe'amim lifnei Adonai et penei haparochet umin hadam yiten al karnot hamizbeach asher lifnei Adonai asher be'ohel moed ואת כל אדם ישפוך אל יסוד מזבח העולה אשר פתח אוהל מועד ואת כל חלבו ירים ממנו והקטיר המזבח ועשה לפר כאשר עשה לפר החטאת כן יעשה לו וכיפר עליהן הכהן ונסלח להם והוציא את הפר אל מחוץ למחנה ושרף אותו כאשר שרף את הפר הראשון חטאת הקהל הוא.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Thank you. And for the seventh Aliyah, we welcome up Jody Perschetz, Jillian's mom.
And our seventh Aliyah starts at the bottom, page 598, verse 22.
Verse-
Tamod, Chaya Rachel, Bat Ruvain Munos, Vadina Miriam Shvi'i.
We continue verse 22.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Ata Adonai. Oops. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen. Asher nasi yecheta be'asa achad mikol mitzvot Adonai Eloheinu asher lo Adonai Elohav asher lo te'asena bishkaga ve'ashem et hoda el
Oh,
et
it's O.
There's
no it. Oh.
O hoda elav chatato asher chata ba vehevi et korbano sir izim zachar tamim v'samach yado al rosh hasa'ir v'shachat oto b'makom asher yishchat ha'olah lifnei Adonai.
No. Lifnei Adonai Hata.
Chatat hu. There it is. That's the end. V'lakach hakohen midam chatat be'etzba'o v'natan al karnod mizbach ha'olah v'ed damo yishpach al yesod mizbach ha'olah v'ed kochel bo yaktir hamizbecha kechelev zevach hashlamim v'chiper alav hakohen mechatato v'nislach lo.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Ata Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen. We pause to do a Mishaberach for those who are in need of healing. Mishaberach Avotenu Abraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarari Karechet v'Leah, U'Yivarech et HaCholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all those who are in need. Zlata Elka bat Rachel Nachama, Chaya v'Abraham, Joseph Levy, Baruch Arki, John Weitzman, Jack Janulis, Leslie Korolek, Lorraine Brumberg, Edith Gross, Charlotte Weinberg, Werner Lichtenstein, James Mamari, Robert Chubin, Dale Chubin, Peter Opper, Rachel Nachama Chaya bat Yechezkel Begittel, Alex Myers, Philip Block, Jan Mermelstein, Eileen Kahn, Shana bat Zeisel, Armand Ben Scheindel, Rabbi Stuart Warner, Judy Burns, Tom Scanlon, Peter Erickson, Bob Rayfield, Marcia G. Simon, Dr. Andy Levine, Michael Minoff. If there are those whose names you would like to add to our communal prayers, please do so now as my glance passes yours. Okay, thank you.
Maureen Clark, Ali Lynn Suhaila, Tuvia, Labe, Dan, Miriam, Risa.
Great, thank you. And we add to those names all those whom you are praying for at home as well. May the Holy Blessed One show compassion, strengthening and healing them, grant them physical vitality, and restore them to spiritual well-being. May each of us become an instrument of wholeness and blessing, bringing courage, cheer, and hope to those who hurt. May this healing come quickly, swiftly, and soon. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimaleh Rachem Yoleim L'Achzikam L'Rabotam V'Yishlach Lehem Mehera Refuah Shlema Min HaShamayim Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf Hashta B'Galav Yizman Kariv V'Nomar Amen. Please rise for Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Yom Adivrach Yerutei v'yom Lik Malchutei.
Becha Yechonuv Yomechonuv Chayedecho Beit Yisrael Agala Ubizmahan Kariv. Amen. Yehei Rabba Mevorach Yolam Yomahia Yiparach.
Yitborach v'yishabach v'yitoar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudesho
Brichu
v'elam min kol birchata v'shirata
Tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran b'yama.
v'yimeru.
Amen. You may be seated. Now for the main event, the moment you've all been waiting for. We welcome... Sorry, I'm going to step away. Sorry. You can take it. When I step away, you take it. We pause for a moment as Jillian will receive her talit and a few remarks from her parents. You guys can take your masks off without Do your remarks first. Actually, no. Sorry, Talit first. It's been a while. You were right. And speak into the microphone, okay?
That's you.
I'm going to say the blessing too.
Oh.
Okay. Just say it. Yeah, better say it now.
Right now. Yes, right now. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chativef v'hatzitit.
Amen.
Jillian, as you know, any good trilogy follows a few important patterns. In the first book, you're introduced to the characters, the things that make them special, the so what of this new world you're being brought into. The second book builds on that, moves the story along, and connects the important themes of the first book to what will become the ultimate destination. And then there's the third book, the conclusion. It ties together all the characters and themes and important knowledge from the first two, but stands alone as the teller of the final story, the ultimate so what of the series. When I finish a trilogy, I always like to think that what I just witnessed keeps going. We just saw a portion of the time with those characters in the world that they live in. Their worlds continue to evolve, and they grow and they mature as people, and they accomplish new and exciting things. In case you didn't know, you are the third book in this little trilogy of ours. You've watched your sisters build their stories and their so whats of their experience becoming Bat Mitzvah. And you've used that knowledge to create a destination that is purely Jillian's story. And of course, you have found yourself in a pandemic-induced dystopia. How very dauntless of you. Please, no jumping off of trains, no climbing Ferris wheels in your future, but I do expect you to question convention, stand up for what you believe in, and approach new challenges with the courage and the empowerment to make a difference. I am certain you are up to the task. I know your stories keep going. Today is an important milestone, but it's not the end. You get to keep writing. Take a break, you've earned it, but use this momentum that you've built to think about what this means to you and what you will carry forward now that this particular chapter of your story is both behind you but is also part of you. I hope this experience has been rewarding for you, and you'll continue to invest in yourself wherever life takes you. Be curious, be interested, be engaged in things that excite you. Don't be reluctant to participate, to learn, to be your own person. Those will be the ways that you write stories that the world will want to read. Jillian, I love you very much. You have done an amazing job today, and you will continue to do amazing jobs, and I knew you would. I am so proud of who you are and who you will become.
Maybe I should have gone first. Hi. Dearest Jillian, from the moment you were born, and even now, I used to joke and tell everyone that you were my favorite. When I didn't think I had enough to give to another child, you actually proved me wrong every single day. You brought a light into our lives and added that extra dramatic flair that our family was missing. You didn't get a nicely planned schedule like all your sisters did, yet you were this happy, carefree baby that adapted to everything. You were always smiling with those giant round cheeks and just dancing and singing to music from the minute that you could sit up on your own. You talked so early that the teachers were happy to have you in their class because they could converse with a 2-year-old throughout the day. You were, and you still are, our dramatic storyteller full of passion, warmth, love, and always ready with your arms open for a hug. When you were younger, you were learning about perseverance in preschool. At a mere 4 years old, you told your teacher that you persevered when you got your head stuck in the sunroof of the car until Daddy could open it up. And to be clear for everybody listening, this did not actually happen. Her head never got stuck in the sunroof. I immediately thought of that story when I was writing this in comparison to this past year. Life turned upside down in many ways, and your bat mitzvah went from being a virtual event on YouTube instead of a big event with all of your family and friends together in person. You just kept pushing through, practicing more, taking on more prayers, and accepting this new day much better than I ever did. I watched you lead several virtual services in awe of how comfortable you looked. Each week you were given more to learn, and you didn't even hesitate. Even the day we got back from the session with the rabbi about your speech, you were in your room writing it that day. And today, your actual bat mitzvah day, I hope you are as proud of yourself as all you have accomplished as a bat mitzvah as I am of you. Jillian, I hope that you continue to persevere through everything life has to offer. I want you to be you and to remember not to try to grow up too fast. Take your time, take in all the moments, and never let anyone define who you should be. Continue to create new stories and make your life as special as it can be. May you grow to find true love and happiness throughout the rest of your life. Jillian, I love you more, and I love you most.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Our maftir is on page 599, verse 24.
I'll call you up before you do anything. Okay. Tamod Yoni Nechana Bashom Afayva V'Chaya Rachel Maftira Habat Mitzvah Chazaka. Take your fringe. Take the fringe.
What's right over here?
Take your fringe. Kiss the word. Samach. Okay, put it down. Close this. Hold these.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Borach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai
Baruch Adonai.
Baruch Adonai Barach Elam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
V'samach yado al rosh ha'sa'ir v'shachat oto bimkom asher yishat et ha'olach lifnei Adonai chatatu v'lakah ha'kohen midam ha'chatat be'etzba'o v'natan al karno mizbach ha'olam v'et damo yishpo el yasod mizbach ha'olam V'et kohel bo yaktir chamizbecha kechelev zivach hashlamim v'chiper alav hakohen mehatato
v'nislach lo. Seek your fringe.
Baruch hu atah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah demet v'chaye olam natat b'chutenu. Baruch atah Adonai notena Torah.
Amen. Oh. All right, great. Good. You guys can have a seat.
Wait, no, not me.
You don't get to have a seat. We'll stay up here for a little bit. We got to lift and dress the Torah, and then we're going to have your Haftarah. Okay?
Do I need to get out of the way?
Yes. We rise for the lifting and dressing of the Torah scroll. The Torah will be lifted by Art Tadris and dressed by Diane Salvin with Michelle McGuire.
Ya'amod Avraham ben Yishmael Yesel v'Rivka Rezel Chazah v'Tamod Dina Miriam Bat Daniel v'Tina Guila.
Bezot HaTorah asher sam Moshe livnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Morasha Keilat Yaakov, Morasha Keilat Yaakov, Morasha Keilat Yaakov, Torah tziva lanu Moshe. We continue with the Haftarah, which can be found on page 607 of the Red Torah comment, the Eitz Chaim Red Torah commentary, and there should be a link in the chat box to follow along at home with the Haftarah that Jillian will be chanting.
Sorry. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divrechem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'nvi'echa emet v'tzedek. Amzu yatzarti li tehilati isaperu velo oti karata Yaakov ki agata bi Yisrael lo cheveta li se olotecha uzvachecha lo chibatani lo evaticha b'mincha velo chogaticha bilvona. Lo kanita li v'kesev kanech v'chelev zevachecha lo hirvitani ach he'evadtani bechatotecha chogatani ba'avonotecha. Anochi hu mocheh v'sha'echa lema'ani v'chatotecha lo ezkor. Haskireni nishavta yachad saper ata lema'an tizdak. Avicha harishon chata umelitzecha pash uvi. Ve'achalal sarei kodesh ve'nala cherem Yaakov v'Yisrael gidufim. Ve'ata shema Yaakov avdi ve'Yisrael bechartivo. Ko amar Adonai yosecha vayotzercha mi beten yazreka al tira avdi Yaakov v'yishurun bechartivo. Ko amar Adonai ki amelech ki v'yishurun b'hartivo ki etzok mayim al tzemei v'nozlim al yabasha etzok ruhi al zarecha uvirchati al tzetzaecha v'tzamchu b'vein hatzir ka'aravim al yivlei mayim ze yomar l'Adonai ani v'ze yikra v'shem Yaakov v'ze yichtov yado l'Adonai uv'shem Yisrael yechanech. Ko amar Adonai melech Yisrael v'go'alo Adonai tzvaot ani rishon ve'ani acharon umi baladai ein Elohim. Umi chamoni gra v'yagidecha v'yarchecha li misumi al am ochlam v'yotiot v'asher ta'avona yagidu lamo al tifadu v'al tirchu chalo me'az hishmaticha v'higadati v'atem edai chayesh Eloach mi baladai ve'ein tzur bal yadati. Yotzrei fesa hulam tohu v'hamaduhem bal yo'ilu v'eidechem heima bal yir'u uval ye'idu lema'an yevoshu. Miatzar el ufesel nasa liviolti ho'il. Hein kol have rav yevoshu v'harashim heima me'adam yitkabsu hulam ya'amodu yifhadu yevoshu yachad. Harash barzel ma'atzad ufa'al ba'pecham uv'makavod yitzreichu v'yifalechu bizaro kocho gamre avein koach lo shatamayim v'yi'af. Harash etzim nataka yitorechu basered yasechu bimaktuot uvamhu gayo torechu vayasechu kitibnit ish kitiferet adam lashevet bayit lichrod lo arazim vayikach tirzav alon vayametz lo bayatzeyar nata oren vegeshem yigadel v'chaye le'adam leva'er vayikach mehem Yaakov af yasik vayapalachem af yael vayishtachu asachu fesel vayiskod lamo hetzio soraf b'mo'esh el hetzio b'sor yochel etz yitzle sali vayispa af yachom vayomar he'ach hamoti ra'iti or Ushe rito le'el asa lifis lo yiskod lo vayishtachu vayitpalel elav vayomar chatzileni ki eli ata lo yadu v'lo yavinu ki tach merot enehem mechaskil libotam v'lo yasiv elibo v'lo dad v'lo tivuna lemor hetzio sarafti b'moesh vayaf afiti al gechalav lechem etzle basar v'ochel yitro letoiva esech level 8 eskod Ro'eh efer lev hutal hitachu v'lo yatzil el nifsho v'lo yomar Halo sheker bimini, Zachor le Yaakov, V'Yisrael ki avdeata, Yitzarticha eved li ata, Yisrael lo tinasheni. Machiti ke'af pesha'echa, V'ha'anan hatotecha. Shuva ele ki galticha. Ranu shamayim ki asad Adonai, Hariu tachtiot aretz, Pitu harim, Rinach, Yachor v'holitz bo, Ki ga'al Adonai Yaakov, U'V'Yisrael yitpar. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzor kol ha'olamim, tzadik bechol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer ve'osech, hamdaber u'mkayem, shekol devarav emet v'tzedek. Ne'eman atachu Adonai Eloheinu, v'ne'emanim devarecha, v'daver echad midbarecha, achor lo yoshuv reikam, ki ha'melech ne'eman v'rachaman atah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'ne'eman b'chol devarav. Rahem al Tzion ki hei beit hayenu, v'la'aluvat nefesh toshia b'mehera v'yameinu. Baruch atah Adonai misameach Tzion b'vanecha. Samheinu Adonai Eloheinu Eliyahu anavi avdecha, uv'malchut beit David mishichecha, b'mehera v'yavo v'yagel libeinu, al kiso lo yeshev zar, v'lo yinheru od acherim et kivodo, ki v'shem kodsha nishbat halo, shelo yeshuv niro le'olam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai magen David. Al haTorah ve'al havodah ve'al hanvi'im ve'al yom haShabbat chazeh, shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'linucha, lichvod u'litifaret. Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach, u'mbarachim otah, yitbarach shimcha b'fi kol hai, tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Kadesh haShabbat.
Amen. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov. Yehelanu, 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 Olechol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Olechol Yisrael. Yehelanu. Olechol Yisrael, Yehelanu, Olechol Yisrael. Mazel tov. How do you feel?
Good.
Good, that's right. Can I get some help cleaning all this stuff up? Let's all pick all this stuff up. These are the hard ones. You're going to hurt somebody with these. That's one of the reasons I have a big talit, is when people throw stuff at me, it's like a natural shield there. Okay.
I keep stepping on this thing.
Yeah, let's push it in.
Should I take my speech out?
Not yet.
Okay. Do I stay up here for now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna put that there.
Okay. Feel good?
Yeah.
Feel relieved?
Yeah. I'm just
Good.
sad I don't have to do it again.
Maybe next year.
Maybe.
Maybe next year.
Maybe. If I remember it.
We continue on page 340 as we prepare to return the Sefer Torah to the Ark. Please rise. And I welcome up Philip again to hold the Torah, and to open the doors of the Ark will be Danielle Perschetz and Madeline McGuire. Page 340. Got it? You might hear. Let me do it? Okay. Hallelu et Shem Adonai, ki niskav Shemo levado. Hodo al eretz v'shamayim, v'yarem keren liyamo. Tila lecho chasidav v'livnei Yisrael am kirovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah, mizmor leDavid. Havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, havu l'Adonai kavod v'os, havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, kol Adonai lamayim el kavod yirim Adonai amayim rabim, kol Adonai ba'koach, kol Adonai behadar, kol Adonai shober arazim, Vaishaber Adonai et arsei halvanon, vayarkidem kamo egel, Lebanon v'Sion kamo vein re'emim, kol Adonai chotzet havot esh, kol Adonai yachim midbar, yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, kol Adonai yechodel ayalot, vayechesof yarod, v'echel ogolo merkavod, Adonai lamaboya, Shabbat Adonai melech leolam, Adonai ozni amoizen, Adonai yivarech et amo b'shalom. Feet in the groove, there you go. Uvenu chol yomar, shuv Adonai revodu. Etz chaim hi lemachazikim bo, v'tomcheha meushar, deracheha darchei noam, v'chol netivoteha shalom, ashkivenu Adonai, Elecha v'nashuva, Chadesh Yameinu, Chadesh Yameinu kekedem. You guys step back for a minute? Please be seated. Jillian will now share some words about this Torah portion and the meaning of this day in her life.
Good morning. The Torah portion for my Bat Mitzvah is called Vayikra, which describes the sacrificial offerings in the ancient temple. I would like to focus on the meaning of sin and guilt. There are two types of sins, intentional sins and unintentional sins. The Torah does not give examples, but I'm sure we can all think of those in our own lives. I remember a time when my parents asked me to clean my room. I was told to clean my room 3 times, but instead I shoved everything into my closet and left it there. I know it's not the worst sin in the world, but it was one of my worst decisions. You see, the way to the attic is through my room, and the attic holds all the luggage and stuff for vacations, and we were about to go on vacation. My dad asked me to grab the hook that opens the attic. I had obviously forgotten the month's worth of junk and stuff I was stashing in there. When I opened the door, I was immediately covered in dirty clothes, old toys, and random junk. It wasn't my intention to disobey my parents. I just didn't think about how important it was to them, how important it was to keep my room clean, and that my mess was blocking the way to the attic. I was just young and careless about cleaning my room. This was an unintentional sin. I didn't do it on purpose, but I did still do something wrong. Here's an example of an intentional sin. Years ago at summer camp, I was going to the pool and I had money to get some food at the snack bar. I was told by my mom to get one thing, and that one thing couldn't be soda. Well, you can probably guess what I did. I bought 2 things, and one of them was soda. When I got home, my parents asked me what I got, and I knew I couldn't lie, so I told them. Telling the truth can help with fixing a mistake, so it was the right thing to do. I lost the privilege of using my iPod for a few days. I knew what I did was wrong, and I made sure it never happened again. I felt bad about it afterwards, but I knew that I did it on purpose. An intentional sin would have been way worse if you didn't feel remorse about it. Although I did not feel bad at the time, I certainly did when I realized my mistake. Nobody is perfect, and our Torah portion seems to understand that. God doesn't expect that we will not sin at all. That's impossible. However, the Torah portion teaches us that when we sin, God wants us to make sure we realize what we did wrong and fix it. This is the purpose of the Chatat offering, as it is described in the Torah portion. In the ancient sacrificial systems, sins did not just affect other people, they affected God. When a person did something wrong, he or she caused an imaginary invisible gunk, which the Torah calls the impurities, to collect on God's altar, all over the temple, God's holy space. In order to clear away the gunk, the sinner had to bring a special offering which made things right with God. In order to actually perform the Chatat offering, a person came to the temple feeling remorse, confessed their sin, and prayed with the desire to be forgiven. If a person didn't assist in cleaning the impure gunk off the temple, he or she must live with the guilt, and when the person finally does become aware of that mistake, that impure gunk will have developed into a much bigger problem, and it will be much harder to fix. The ancient Israelites did not want to offend God or pollute God's holy space with this impure gunk, so they did whatever it took to reverse their sinful effects on God. It was interesting to learn that only unintentional sins can be fully atoned for, because most of these sins are small mistakes that are easy to forgive. Intentional sins cannot be atoned for, because that would mean that we actively went against God's commandments, and that is a much bigger problem than a sacrifice could fix. However, something is missing from our Torah portion. Why does it only talk about fixing God's holy space? When we sin, we have to make things right with God, but we must also fix things with the people we have hurt. We obviously do not have a temple where this impure gunk builds up on God, and we can't bring sacrifices to clean off the gunk. However, this same idea might apply to our lives today. The way we might think of it is that when we hurt someone, whether intentional or not, we are also in a way hurting God as well. If hurting someone else also hurts God, how important is it that we make right what we did wrong? Let's go back to that example of me not cleaning my room, and what happened as a result of that. My chatat, my sin offering, was to clean up my room and to promise to clean my room whenever I was told to do so. My lack of attention to the mess in my room led to a closet full of junk and dirty clothes. The people of Israel's lack of attention to their sins led to God's holy space getting covered in impurities. The Torah portion teaches us that we have to own up to our mistakes and fix them. Just as though we don't want to be covered by a big pile of dirty laundry, God does not want to be covered by the impure gunk. As I become a Bat Mitzvah, there are many people who helped me to reach this day. First of all, I would like to thank Rabbi Hal. At the beginning of 6th grade, you told me this won't be easy, and you were right, it was not easy. But you helped me make it easier. You pushed me to my limits, powered me through the tough parts, and most importantly, you never let me give up. If I was struggling, we would practice and practice until I got it right. I thank you for pushing me to the best I can be. Next, I would like to thank my grandparents. I thank you for always creating a religious space, for example, having a Seder for Passover and exchanging gifts on Hanukkah. I always loved having those little moments. I also want to thank my sisters. Jordan, when I first started, you were the one who told me how it would all happen. When I started my Haftorah, you told me it'll take a little while, but you'll get there. Thank you for supporting me. I know I can always count on you to be there. Danielle, I want to thank you for being there for moral support when I didn't get something or I was upset. It's the little things that really help. Lastly, I would like to thank my parents. You put this all together, and even though there is a literal global pandemic, you still made sure that this was my day. The best bat mitzvah it could possibly be. Everything I could have asked for. Thank you. I love you both. I would like to thank everyone who's here with today. I would like to thank everyone who is here with us today in person and those watching online. Thank you for celebrating with me as I become a bat mitzvah at Congregation Ortid. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Wonderful. Shakalach, you can have a seat. Jillian, you made it. We made it. Through everything going on in the world in the past year, we weren't sure what things would look like today. But we're here, and you have reached this day. You stood up on this bima. You've led us in prayer. You've chanted the words of our ancient text, and you taught us some important Torah. Everyone here wanted this day to be special for you, not only so that you could have the same experience as your two older sisters, but also so that you could have your own unique experience of becoming a bat mitzvah. Well, it was certainly unique, and it was one which you will never forget. Years from now, you'll be thinking, remember when my bat mitzvah was during that global pandemic? Yeah. As you said in your speech at the beginning of 6th grade, I did in fact tell you that this would not be an easy process. I just didn't imagine all the extra hurdles that would come our way. Regardless, none of that fazed you. You are a motivated person. Like your schoolwork or sports or personal fitness, when it came to your bat mitzvah preparation, you dove in headfirst and fully committed yourself to it. This fits with your adventurous nature. You'll try new things, eat new foods, go in new places, and confidently rise to the occasion when the opportunity faces you. And today you have certainly shown that poise. I've also seen how you are animated and emotive in the way that you speak. You tell people how you feel, and you're open and energetic. I was impressed to learn how committed you are to exercise and to working out, and also channeling a softer side through painting and abstract art. And you're also committed to being Jewish. And being Jewish means being part of a small and unique group with our own customs and practices and communal stories. It also means sharing our experiences with your friends who are not Jewish. As you expressed in our conversation a few weeks ago, this moment of bat mitzvah is about owning your Judaism. What you have done today by standing on this beam shows that you are your own person among the Jewish people and not just the daughter of two adult Jews. Come bat mitzvah, our tradition does not just belong to your grandparents and parents, it's yours as well. Now, having now officiated at the benot mitzvah of all three Perschetz girls, it would be a dereliction of my responsibilities as your rabbi not to mention your favorite holiday and favorite family celebration, the well-known pajama seder, right? It's also serendipitous that Pesach begins next week, so are there plans for a pajama seder? There are. Great, of course. Look, the Seder is my favorite Jewish ritual. I love the conversation and the learning through eating and songs and all the new and different things that prompt us to ask questions and then tell the story through answering those questions. As the youngest person in your family, you're probably still going to be asking the 4 questions for quite some time. But now that you are a bat mitzvah, you have the agency to answer those questions. You will no longer just be a kid reciting a formula of words that you learned years ago. So I encourage you to take an active role in your family's Seder and in your Jewish life as a whole, with the motivation and effort that you put into all things. When we are children at the Seder, the story is told to us. Now that you've become bat mitzvah, I encourage you to become a storyteller in your own right. Mazel tov on reaching this day. So if I could ask you and your parents and your sisters and your grandparents to rise at this moment for a special blessing. Misha berach avotenu Abraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, v'imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, hu yivarech et Yonina Chana bat Shlomo Feivel v'Chana Rachel, asher alta hayom likrat Torah v'hahaftara leot haba'at ratzon lehiot chayim re'uyim levat Yisrael. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you, Jillian Perschetz, who has been called to the reading of the Torah and the Haftarah in a token of your desire to live a worthy Jewish life. May God, who was with you from birth and enabled you to grow to your present stature in body and spirit, continue to be with you in the life that is ahead. May it be God's will that you continue to grow in health and strength, in wisdom, in humility, in love and in loyalty, in faith and courage, and that you may ever be a joy to your parents, an honor to your people, a credit to your country, and a true servant of God. Amen. And we recite together the blessing for new occasions, our Shechianu, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Shechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for bringing us to this happy occasion. And we say, Amen. Amen. You may kiss the bat mitzvah. I'd like to call you up here for a moment again. We have a certificate of bat mitzvah. You won't forget this moment, I'm sure, but now we have paper proof that it happened, right? So you can take this and frame this, put it on your wall, and also like to call up Fran Tadros on behalf of the Ritual Committee to present a gift to you as well.
Well, Mazel tov, Julian. It has been a pleasure to watch you, although on Zoom, as you progressed and you became more and more confident. And the best part is seeing you in person. The culmination, it's been beautiful. You did a great job. And I know your whole family and everybody who's watching is very, very proud of you. And, oh, here it is. On behalf of the Ritual Committee, I would like to present you with these candlesticks. And hopefully you will be able to light up your Shabbat and holiday house the way that you have lit up this sanctuary today with your bat mitzvah. So that being said, mazel tov to you, to your family, and hopefully when this is over, we can all be here and celebrate some more together. Shabbat shalom. You know, no hugs, no kisses, but a wave.
All right, mazel tov. Okay. I have to hold it down. There you go. There you go. Okay. All right, let's put that, let's give this to your mom right now. Let's give this to your mom so we don't forget it. Okay. Bring this over here. We continue with the remainder of our service. We begin on page 354 for Musaf. For those of you watching at home, that's in the Shabbat service PDF. Page 354. Please rise for Musaf. 354. Yes. Good. Okay.
Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabba.
Amen.
V'alma divra hirte v'amlich malchute
Chayechonu v'yamechon uchayedecho Beit Yisrael. Gala b'gala
Ubismahan kari v'maru.
Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach. Olam olam me'omaya yitbarach.
Yipra v'yishtaba v'yipar v'yiram v'yidaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudashah.
Richo.
Leilai min kol bir tavashir brata.
Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'yama.
V'maru.
Amen. Page 357 for the Amidah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah
El HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon Milchasadim Tovim v'Konei HaKol v'Zocher Chatzei Avot U'Mevi Goel Livnei Bneihem L'man Shemo v'Yahava Melech Ozer Moshiach u'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham v'Yezrat Sarah Agibor le'olam Adonai Michai Metim Atarav leHoshia Mashiv HaRuach u'Morid HaGashem Mechalkel Chayim v'Chesed Mechayei Metim v'Rachamim Rabim Somech Noflim v'Rofech Cholim U'Matir Asurim U'Mekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Nichamocha Bal Gevurot U'Mito Melach Melech Memit U'Mechayeh U'Matzmiach Yeshua
V'ne'eman atah l'chacha yod meitim Baruch atah Adonai mechayecha meitim.
Page 358.
Na'aritzecha v'na'akdishecha Kisot siach sarfei kodesh Hamakdishim shimcha b'kodesh Ka'katuv ha'nevi'echa V'kara ze'el ze'v'yamar Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Tzvaot Melech ha'aretz Kivodo. Kivodo malei olam asher ta shalom zeh lazeh achei mimkom kivodo lumatam baruch yomeru
Baruch Kevod Adonai Mimkomo Mimkomo Hu even berachamim Yachonam Am Chadim Shemo Erev Avoker Bechol Yom Tomim Amayim B'Yahava Shema Omrim Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Hu Eloheinu Hu Avinu Hu Malkeinu Hu Moshienu Hu Yashmienu V'Rachama Sheni B'nei Kochai
L'hiyod lechem leolim
Ani Adonai Elohechem
Uvdivrei kodshecha katuv lemor
Yimloch Adonai Le'elam Elohai Tzion Ledor Vador Hallelujah
Ledor vador
Ledor Vador
Ledor vador
Ledor Vador Ledor Vador Nagid God Lecha
Ledor vador
Ledor Vador
Ledor vador
Ledor Vador Ledor Vador Nagid God Lecha U'netzach netzachim kedushatecha nakdish kedushatecha nakdish V'shivah Eloheinu mipinu yamush le'odam v'ed
Ledor vador
Ledor Vador
Ledor vador
Ledor Vador Nagid God Lecha
Ledor vador
Ledor Vador
Ledor vador
Ledor Vador Nagid God Lecha Ki Hamelech Gadol, Gadol v'Kadosh, v'Kadosh v'Kadosh Ata. Ki Hamelech Gadol, Gadol v'Kadosh, v'Kadosh v'Kadosh Ata.
Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh.
We continue with the silent Amidah, page 360 through 370.
May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer.
Oseh shalom bimrama, uyaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 Amen. Page 372, you may be seated.
Yikar avi Hashem me Rabba.
Amen.
Lama dibar yotev mechantei b'chayhon uvmehon uvhayidachol bet Yisrael b'gali bizman kari v'imru.
Amen. Yishmei Rabba mevarach v'yalam lam yamayar yibarach.
Yipravi shvavi parvi ravi to say be darvi to levi to lashmi to kudisha.
Rechu.
Lei limin kobir tapashir tatish patav and emata dami ram bim avimru.
Amen.
Tikabot soton utahon the whole Yisrael kodamu b'hon divishmai avimru.
Amen.
Yechesh lama rabban vishmaya v'hayim aleinu v'chol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom bim Roma, puyasach shalom aleinu v'chol Yisrael v'imaru.
Amen. So that was like the fastest I've ever heard you chant. You chant fast. By the way, your speech was the slowest I've ever heard you speak English, which was great. We continue on page 400. Ein keloheinu, ein kadonenu, ein kemalkeinu, ein kemoshienu, mi cheloheinu, mi chadonenu, mi kemalkeinu, mi chemoshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Atahu Shiktiru Avotenu, Levanecha Ketoret Asamim. We rise for Aleinu, page 402. We welcome to the Bima Haley Scheibel and Jordan Perschetz to open the doors of the Ark.
Yeah.
There's Jordan Perschetz.
Yeah, you're the only Jordan person.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, ladet gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'goralenu k'chohamonam, v'anachnu korim u'mishtavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Noteh Shamayim ve'Yoser Haaretz, U'moshav Yikaro b'Shamayim Mima'al, U'shchinatu zo, V'gofei beromim, U'Eloheinu ve'enot, Emebalkeinu emezilato, K'katuv b'Torato, V'yadotayom v'ashevota elevavecha, Ki Adonai hu Elohim, B'shamayim ima'al, V'ya'aretz mitachat einot, Eidona kenekavelech Adonai Eloheinu. Amen.
Kakatu b'dortecha, Adonai yimloch le'olam ba'ed.
V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz, Bayom ahu, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, U'shemo echad. Mourners, those observing yard sites, and those whose tradition it is to say Kaddish for the 6 million, please remain standing. In reciting Kaddish, we affirm our awareness of holiness in our lives and recognize that much of our experience of God's goodness, grace, and love comes to us through those whose lives have touched our own. On this Shabbat, we remember loved ones who have died in recent days and weeks and in the past year. Svetlana Benchik, Sidney Jaffe, Riva Isaacs, Mary Kornblau, Gary Agassim, Joyce Doss, Ann Burson, Yoram Eckstein, Bruce Norden, Rabbi Israel Kohler, Rosalind Diana Goldman, Barbara L. Cohen, Nordy Wiener, Felicia Glazer, Selma Cantor, Beverly Brindy Hoff, Peggy Kohler. We keep them in our hearts alongside those for whom we mourn and those for whom the anniversary of their passing will occur in the coming week. Lee Rhoda Bank, Herman Bloom, Kenneth Frischtick, Sylvia Ann Russell, Ruth Goldman Bloom, Selma Wendroff, Irving Raphael, Eileen Korn, Mark Gerstein, and Daniel Broder. In loving testimony to the faith that links the generations, those who mourn, and all who remember, join the recitation of the Kaddish, page 410. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach yiruteh, v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayet d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala ubizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam l'mei al-maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei d'kudisha berichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran mi'ama v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the source of peace and comfort send comfort to those who are bereaved, peace to Israel and to the entire world, and to this we say, amen. Shabbat Shalom. Lynn, you want to do announcements? Come on up. Where are they? Yeah, they are. You can use that microphone if you want. Or actually, you can use the clip on here. Just the middle. Green?
Good morning. Congratulations, ma'am. You were phenomenal.
Hold it closer to your...
You were phenomenal. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Please reference your reminder emails for the information to log in by computer or by phone for these streaming events. Sunday, March 21st at noon, there's the JCFR Passover Seder and Musical Concert. You do need to register for that event on their website. On Monday at 1 p.m., JCFR is doing a virtual Shalik lunch and learn with Rodem Gabai. You must register for this event as well. Next Saturday at Pesach begins at sundown. Please visit our website under the Passover Guidance tab to access a guide to preparing your home for Pesach, or if you are interested in selling your chametz. Next Sunday at 10 a.m. is First Day Festival Services. Also, beginning at 6 p.m. next Sunday, join us for a virtual second Seder via Zoom. Please register for this event on the website by Thursday, March 25th. And as Rabbi said last night, not a lot of people have signed up. We think people are pretty zoomed out. So if you are interested, please register by Thursday. He's happy to do it. Monday, March 29th, our Count the Omer campaign begins. More information will be coming this week, and we look forward to 100% participation from the congregation. And on March 31st, From Passover to Passover is coming from JCFR, an inspiring virtual program, and you need to register for that on their website as well. And on Saturday, April 3rd at 10 a.m., Shabbat and Seventh Day Festival Service with Yisker. That's at 10 a.m. next Saturday. If you need any assistance at all during any of these challenging times, please reach out to us or to the Richmond Jewish Community Care Line. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom. I haven't done that in a really long time.
I know, right?
Just do that every week.
Wanted to see if you remember how to do it. So again, Mazel Tov to Jillian and to your entire family. Thank you to those of you who were tuning in and watching us from home. Thank you also to those congregants who were here to help assist in the service going smoothly. To Fran and Art, to Josh running tech, and to Dana and Lynn for being our ushers. This morning, yeah, it's nice to be. It's nice to have a crowd. It's nice to. I'm a total dog rabbi. There's dog rabbis and there's cat rabbis, right? And I'm a dog rabbi, so it's nice to have a congregation and a crowd and stay tuned. We are having our preliminary, as things change, we are having some preliminary conversations about what opening up would look like to have services here. We imagine it would be similar to how things work today. But we're still having those conversations, and hopefully things start to improve, and we can begin to come back into some sort of semblance of in-person services. So if this is a taste of it, then this was a good first bite. We conclude our service on page 412 with Adon Olam. Come on back up here. Let me just make sure this is on. It's on. You have a tune? You know what was
Yesterday.
what did the one we did yesterday? Okay, she wants.
What it was. Oh, yeah.
That one. Yeah. Okay. Ready?
Adon Olam.
Wait. We going to that one? Okay. So which part are we starting with?
I have no idea.
We're starting with Adon Olam, Adon Olam. That part?
Yeah.
Okay, we're starting right in the chorus. Okay. So you'll be part one, I'll be part two. Okay, great.
Adon Olam.
Adon Olam.
Asher Malach.
Asher Malach.
B'terem kol.
B'terem kol Yitzir Nivra. Li'et nasa v'chefetzo kol. Azai melech shemo nikra Adon Olam. V'yacharei kichlot hakol. Levado yimloch nora Adon Olam. Vehu haya, vehu hoveh. Vehu yeh betifara Adon Olam. Adon Olam.
Asher malach.
Asher melach.
B'terem kol.
B'terem kol yitzir nivra. Li'et nasa b'chefetzo kol. Azai melech shemo nikra Adon Olam. Vehu echad v'ein sheni. Lahamshilo lahachbira Adon Olam. Beli reshit, beli tachlit. Velo haoz v'hamisra Adon Olam. Adon Olam.
Asher malach.
Asher melach.
B'terem kol.
B'terem kol yitzir nivra. Li'et nasa b'chefetzo kol. Azai melech shemo nikra Adon Olam. Vehu eli v'chai goali v'tzorchev li b'yetzara Adon Olam. Vehu nisi umanos li menat kosi b'yom ekra Adon Olam. Adon Olam.
Asher malach.
Asher malach.
B'terem kol.
B'terem kol yitzir nivra. Li'et nasa b'chefetzo kol. Azai melech shemo nikra Adon Olam.
B'yahado.
Apkid ruchi b'yet yishan v'ya'ira Adon Olam. Im ruchi geviyatzi nali v'lo ira Adon Olam. Adon Olam.
Asher malach.
Asher melach.
B'terem kol
yitzir nivra. Li'et nasa b'chefetzo kol. Azai melech shemo nikra Adon Olam. Mazel tov. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Thank you for joining us. And we'll see you.
Shabbat shalom.
I don't have any glasses in here. We don't have any, forgot to bring them back from out there. It's all right.